it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and on this video tutorial we're going to do a couple good things that I think will be helpful. Number one, we're going to make a wood cutting board, and I'm going to show you how you can distress it using one of these little kitchen scrubby sponges. The other thing is we're going to talk about what the difference is, I'm going to start with this, between all these different fabrics. So let me scooch this out of the way and we'll come back to it in just a second. But I do get questions all the time about the difference between painter's drop cloth and canvas duck fabric. This one happens to be white, but the stuff I generally use, which I'm almost out of, this is all I have left. I generally use this oatmeal tan creamy color. So what is the difference? And then what is the difference between that and ticking? Okay, so painter's drop cloth is what painters use on the floor, over furniture, that kind of thing, when they are painting. It comes very stiff. The brand I like is called Everbuilt, and you can get that at Home Depot. I don't know what the weight of it is anymore because I bought this so long ago. But it basically looks like this. It's got a real nubby texture, and you can use it to do all kinds of things, including making flowers. These were made with painter's drop cloth. It's going to have kind of a floppy feel to it. With this, you do want to wash it. I recommend that you wash it 2 times on hot and dry it 2 times. That will soften it and make it really nice to use. Okay, canvas duck, on the other hand, is something that you get at a fabric store. It comes in a whole bunch of different colors, like red, cream, my favorite, white. I know I've seen other colors too. And it is, I don't know why it's called duck fabric, but it's a canvas that's really thick. There's different grades of how thick and stiff it is, and I always choose the stiffest, thickest one. It's really nice to work with, and here are some examples of flowers, because those are my favorite, that I made this outside part using canvas duck. I mean, I use canvas duck at least 3 times every week. I do a zillion projects with it because I love it. It's so nice to work with, and it's pretty darn affordable. Okay, here's the thing though. Do not wash this because you want it to stay nice and stiff. You may want to iron it before you use it because it does get crumpled pretty easy, but don't wash it. Yes, wash painter's drop cloth 2 times. No, don't wash canvas duck. This comes from a fabric store. This comes from a hardware store. Okay, the other question I get a lot is about ticking. And ticking is a kind of fabric that was used, like in the 1800s, I believe, on furniture and mattresses and things in France. I'm not sure why it was called ticking, but it is essentially a thick canvas, like canvas duck cloth, but it's going to have stripes on it. So it comes in red and cream. It comes in blue and cream. It comes in this yummy caramely color and cream. It also comes in black and cream, and it comes in a variety of other colors. Don't wash this before you use it. Okay, so don't wash the canvas duck or the ticking. Do wash what you're going to get at the hardware store, which is the painter's drop cloth. Throw this on the floor. All right, so that's your little lesson about fabrics. My favorite is just your basic canvas duck. I can get it at Walmart. I've purchased it at Hobby Lobby. I know you can get it on Amazon. You want to look for the heaviest weight. Any fabric store is going to carry it, and a lot of craft stores do too. You don't want muslin. That's real thin, and it's not going to hold up well. Okay, so we're going to be making a pretty little cutting board. And I'm starting with, we're going to do this one, the rectangle. But these are wood cutting boards. There's a rectangle and a circle that you can get from magnoliadiy.com. And I painted 2 coats of my favorite Walmart Waverly brand. This is like acrylic paint, matte, no finish prep, in my favorite color, which is plaster. So I put 2 coats on this before I came live, so we'd be all ready to go. We are going to sand it, and I'm using this little tool, which is something you can get on Amazon. This has just made sanding so much easier than using sandpaper or a sanding block. And when I ordered mine on Amazon, let me know if you want the info, it came with this bag of all these, all those extra things, and it's basically Velcro, and then the pieces of sandpaper have Velcro on them. This is 240 grit, and it comes in a variety of different grits. This is pretty fine. I'm just going to sand my center part just to see if I can get it pretty darn smooth. I'm going with the grain. So when I put my stencil on it, it will give me a nice impression. Okay, I'm gonna dump this off. Okay, and I could go outside and spray this with a clear matte sealer spray, or I could use a teeny weeny little bit of wax before I stencil. That makes it so that it your medium isn't going to go through the holes in your stencil and then bleed all over. So, but when you're using this wax from Magnolia, just know that it has to be the eensy teensy weensiest bit of wax, and that you're going to want to really buff it. I can feel that it's gone on. This dries clear, by the way. And this is a little pad. Mine needs to be washed. You can get to go with that. I'm going to use a paper towel just to buff that a little bit further. Okay, so I painted 2 coats on the front, 1 coat on the back. And we sanded it. Let me know if you want this info. And I used a teeny weeny little bit of wax. So next up, we're going to stencil, and I'm doing a blue and cream theme. We're going to use some of these strips that came from a pair of my husband's jeans. And I've made a lot of different things with those. We're going to be using this stencil right here. It's a quote from the book of Zechariah, chapter 4, verse 6. Not by my strength, but his. Which is a great quote. Let me grab a Sharpie marker. And I'm going to mark the back of it. Not by my strength. This will help me when I'm all done to know which side to put my stencil back on, because it does make a difference. I have not used this before. This is going to be my very first time using this one, so I'm going to fuzz it. And I could fuzz it on this little dress, I could fuzz it on a t-shirt or pair of jeans, or on this, it's called a tacky towel. And that just makes these stencils slightly less sticky. It puts a little bit of fuzz on the back of them, so they don't pull up your paint when you pull it off, or you know, make a bond that you can never break. So I'm just gonna do that one more time. This is a great investment, and it's like $7 or $8, because you can fuzz on one side, and then when I'm all finished with it, if I'm in a hurry to use it again, I can wash it, lay it in this center, which is gray, and pat it dry. It's super handy. Okay, so I'm gonna do this, and I'm putting my stencil kind of down because I do want it to be centered, because we're going to make a bow, and we're also going to distress this. So yeah, I still have lots to show you, and all these things, you can use these tips with what you have at home, or you can order this stencil and this cutting board and this chalk paste if you would like. You can do that too. Well, dang, I still don't have it straight. One more try. Okay. I'm going to say that's good enough. So I don't know, did I say any of my normal stuff at the start? Hey, let me know you're watching. Feel free to sprinkle. Feel free to ask questions. At the end, I will get all of the supplies. And so you can let me know if you want the full supply list. I mean, I'm even going to list these. Torn jeans. I'm going to show you how to tear fabric in case you haven't done that before. So let me know if you want the full supply list. This is blue chalk paste, and it's called Old Glory Blue. And it's a great dark color. And I'm going to use this on my stencil, and then once that's getting dry, we'll use it with this scrubby sponge to kind of distress the edges of our piece just a little bit. So I'm just going to grab some, and I'm going to go slow, or slowly, and I'm going to attempt to use the least amount of chalk paste necessary to get the job done. And I'm going to try not to go over and over and over it, because when you do that, that's when you have a tendency to go out of the lines. Let's just pick up that excess. And that's also when you have a tendency to push too much of your medium through the holes in your stencil. And if you're working on wood, wood can be a little tricky. It wants to suck in your medium and then spread it out. That's just how wood is. Okay, I think I got that fully covered. It looks like this. To peek. Okay, it looks pretty good. It's not 100% perfect, but it looks pretty good. Not by my strength, but by his. This is going to go in my kitchen, and it will be a good reminder for me. You know, not to always try to do everything in my own strength. Okay, let's set this aside for a moment, and then we'll come back and we will distress it with this scrubby sponge. Do I wax wood before I did? Yeah, I did wax this using this wax from Magnolia, but here's the thing, and this is important, don't use too much wax, because if you do, your chalk paste will not stick to the wood. And that is the mistake I see people make a lot. they use too much wax and then they don't buff it enough. So this is the little buffing cloth. Mine needs to be washed. This is the wax. Honestly, what I prefer is this. Instead of waxing, I prefer to go outside, but I forgot. Today's been kind of crazy. My mom is in the hospital again, and it does not look good. Anyways, this is Clear Matte Sealer Spray. It is Rust-Oleum brand. I get mine at Walmart. I do just one thin coat before I do my stencil, and it does the same thing. It makes it so you get a little bit crisper stencil impression, and I prefer that over this. But this is good in a pinch, and it's good if you're cautious and you don't use too much. Susie says, yes, I totally used too much wax the first time, and it left wax on the back of the stencil. Oh, but I learned from it, yeah. Once you get your wax on the teeny tiniest little amount, then you just want to buff it like crazy. And I buffed it with both this and a paper towel, and mine seems just fine. Okay, let's talk about making a bow for this project. Okay, there's lots of things that we could use, including some strips from my husband's jeans. I took these, I created them, I tore them probably 2 years ago. He came downstairs one evening and he was tearing up a pair of jeans and he was gonna toss them. And I said, wait, they were so soft and nice. I said, let me have them. And I just cut little snips. I'll show you how you do that. I'm gonna show you with this canvas stack. And I tore it, and I think it looks fabulous. And this is gonna look good combined with the other stuff I have going on. So to get this kind of frayed edge, you just make a little snip and then you pull it. And I do this with canvas duck. You can do it with your painter's drop cloth too, most of the time. I do it with ticking. If your fabric is cut straight and not on diagonal or printed on the diagonal, I'm not sure how to explain that, then you should be able to tear it. And you can fuzz up the edges as much as you would like. So I have a box back here that has strips of all different things. It has little bits of lace. It has strips of canvas duck. I never throw anything away. This was the red ticking. We're not going to use red today, but I did want to mention this because you could do this whole project in red and cream if you wanted, and you could use this Old Glory red chalk paste and this stencil or another one if you prefer, and it would look very similar, but it would be in a red theme. I opted to go with blue. Okay, so let's make a pile. All right, and I have started to play with this a little bit, but I want to add to it. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of strips of the denim as my first layer. This denim could have been ironed, but I didn't get to that. And I'm going to just do crisscross like what we did yesterday when we were working on these candle garters, remember? Crisscross. Let's make this nice and full. One more piece. These can be absolutely whatever length you want. And you can fiddle with that when you're done. Okay, so can you see what I've got here? And then you're just going to start layering And so I'm going to layer some pieces of ticking on here. Because I'm doing a blue and cream theme, I'm putting all my fabric facing up in the same direction. That might be too long. Then let's do some canvas duck. I tore a few little strips and we'll just put them on here. Then let's do a little bit more denim. You know what, I'm going to do the ticking first. These are the strips that I have handy. And then I have just some little bits of lace. This bow that we're making right here is Melanie Ferguson, she's a friend of mine, is her signature bow, and she calls it a messy bow. She's so crafty, oh my goodness. I have learned so much from her. So this is her signature bow. I'll make sure to give her credit for that. And what makes it her signature, I'll show you in just a second. So I just did crisscross, crisscross. I could continue to add more, but we're gonna say that that is good enough. Okay, what makes it her signature is that she uses a zip tie to fasten the whole thing together. So I'm just going to scooch. This zip tie is way too big, but it's what I have on hand. So it's what we're using. It came from Dollar Tree. And I'm gonna try to scooch this on without moving everything around too much. Let's flip it over to the other side because I want it to disappear on the back. Lay my bow down. And there we go. What do you guys think? Isn't that cute? So I will definitely do a little trimming on it, but I'm going to say for right now that this is good. We're going to cut off this little tail of our zip tie, and I'm going to cover, the front of this with a little piece of canvas duck. I don't have my glue. Do I have my glue gun going? No, I don't. Darn it. Like I said, today's been one of those days for me. Because my mom is in the hospital and the doctors aren't saying that, they're saying that it's probably the end for her. And so looks like, if you're watching this live, it's July 12th, I think, of 2023. If you're watching this some other time, who knows what will have transpired. But anyways, so looks like I may be making another trip out west sometime in the next few days. Okay, so I'm going to come back to this and finish it off, but I'm going to basically just hot glue this little strip right here over the center, and then I got out some bling. Oh my gosh, I'm a bling maniac now. And I don't know if you knew that I have my very own custom bling pack by Totally Dazzled. There's the piece that I wanted. And anyways, it comes with 10 pieces, a couple crosses, and then a whole bunch of smaller type bling that to me look like vintage buttons. This might be what you think of when you think of bling. And these are beautiful. These are from Totally Dazzled as well. They're just not really my style. This or these are more my style. Okay, where is that piece that I wanted? Let me see if I knocked it on the floor. Well, I'm not seeing it, so we might, oh, here it is. This is the one I want to put in the center. So let's do our, and if you want info on this, it's $20, I think is what the price is of my bling. My Totally Dazzled bling pack. It's limited time, so I think it's only available for a month or something like that. Just let me know and I'll be glad to get you a direct link to that. Okay, let's do the edges while we're waiting for my glue gun to heat up. All right, and what I'm going to do for that is I'm just operating off of a paper plate here. And I'm going to take some of this same blue chalk paste and I'm going to put a blob of it on my paper plate. There's my lid. I always want to get my chalk paste covered right back up so that it doesn't get dry faster than it would ordinarily get dry. I'm going to take, this is a regular kitchen sponge, scrubby, that I have just cut into smaller pieces to make it more manageable. This is from the grocery store. You can get these. Every grocery store, you probably have some under your sink. You can get them at Walmart, you can get them at Dollar Tree, you can get them all over. So I'm just taking the scrubby spot, or back of it, and putting it in my blue chalk paste. And then, this is where it's scary. I am just going to kind of go around, oh, it looks great, the edge of, look at that already. And it's going to go on in different areas in different amounts. So in some places it'll be super visible. In other places it will not. It's way more visible in person than it is you looking at it on this video. Then I'm going to come and add a little bit to the edges. It really does not take much at all. And here's the thing, if I hated it, which I don't, I love it, I could wash it off because chalk paste is not permanent. I might have to do one more light coat of paint and then I could start over. So let's just lay this right here and let's go back. Oh my word, my desk is a disaster. Let's go back to this bow, which is going to be right here at the top. Whoops, you cannot see what I'm talking about. Our bow is going to end up being right here. And I will definitely cut it shorter because I don't want it to cover up all the words. Not by my strength, but his. Zechariah, chapter 4, verse 6. Barb says she likes that technique. Thank you for teaching us. I like it too. There's a lot of different ways that you can distress. You can use a palette knife. These are from Dollar Tree. This was, I think I got these in Canada. You can use a paintbrush. This thing with the kitchen scrubby sponge is something that my friend Lisa Ramsey showed one time and I was like, oh my gosh, this is ingenious. I've probably done it 25 or 30 times since I saw her do it. I don't do the other methods really anymore because it's just so, it just works so awesome. Okay, so this is where my zip tie is and I want to cover that up. Hopefully my hot gluing device will be sort of hot. I'm just going to pull pull it around to the back. And I'll probably tack it on to my board when everything's all dry and finished and ready using some hot glue. Looking to see which side does everything belong on. Okay, I'm going to cut these both shorter, both ends. That. Glue down, and then we'll add our little bling, which I'm so excited about my bling pack. It's totally my style. I think anytime I would normally use a vintage button, I can use some of this bling. And it's not so blingy as your traditional bling, which if you love this kind of bling, go for it. It just isn't my particular cup of tea. These are all in this color called vintage, not brass. Oh gosh, I can't remember what it's called, but anyways, they're just beautiful. So I'm planning to use this one on the front. I'm just gonna get this on here. And I will come back and trim everything so it's all about the same length. But I'm going to put this right here, and I think it's going to be just lovely. Okay, so here's the board. It's not fully dry. I don't want to mess it up. Not by my strength, but his Zechariah. And this chalk paste is called Old Glory Blue. It's a great, kind of more of a navy colored blue. So I used that on the stencil, and then I used it on the scrubby sponge to distress the edges. And it's going to look great when I attach my little bow right here. So can you guys see what I am talking about? Nothing is also a beautiful cutting board, and you could do this same stencil in the center of this. It could be identical, the whole concept of it. These 5x7 stencils work on this round wood cutting board as well. So what do you guys think? Do you like it? Helga says this is adorable. Thank you. I just felt like doing something different today, and we have not done wood projects in a little while. So anyways, and I always love doing something fun with the scrubby sponge and doing multi-purpose things with this chalk paste. You can dilute it with water and turn it even into something almost like paint. So when this is fully dry, I will take it outside and do one light coat of this Rust-Oleum 2x Ultra Clear Matte Clear Spray Sealer, because I'm never going to change that and I want to set it in my kitchen. But if you thought you might change it, then just don't spray it. You can wash it off with a sponge and some water, and then you might need to give it a little coat, you know, just to cover up any area where it might be discolored from this dark chalk paste, and you can do another project completely different. Okie dokie. Well, Becky, I'm sorry about the connection. Come back and watch this on replay. So let me know if you want my full supply list. I'm going to include everything, even down to husband's jeans. What this paint is called, where you get it. This is plaster, it's my favorite color. Where you get this little wax and this little waxing pad. where you get this spray if you want to use it, the canvas duck, everything. So let me know if you would like that. Or if you want, it's called antique bronze. Thank you, I couldn't think of that, Robin. This stuff, this color that I love so much is called antique bronze. I like it better than the silver, rose gold, or gold, but that's just my personal preference. Anyways, so Jackie says she needs that dress. This was one of my favorite dresses, you guys, but I got, about a month ago, I got some blue ink on it right here. And, you know, ink is permanent. Pretty darn permanent, even if you don't heat set it, and I could not get it out. So this is going to be my crafting dress from now on, but it's pretty cute, don't you think? Okay, I've rambled plenty long. Thank you so much for joining me. Do a this or a this. That's a heart. Say something to me in the comments. Let me know if you want my bling link or the supply list or anything else. Feel free to sprinkle all that good stuff. I will, let's see, can I pick this up without ruining it? Maybe. I will get good pictures, and I'll post those later today. And I'll wait till it's fully dry and I've sprayed it, and then I'll probably just glue this little bow after it's been trimmed on here. All right. Oh, thank you for praying for my mom. I appreciate that. Alrighty. Have a great day.